What about the bird though? The bird is singing when he gets back. Finally, it's maybe I feel like the bird symbolizes the soul in some way. It's this idea of the or a part of the soul, the spirit. It can soar. It can be trapped. It's it the remember the name of the story is the golden bird, so that it's maybe the most important thing. Even one feather is enough is valuable enough for the whole kingdom, you know. I think the bird is yeah, that the most important thing there. This yeah, it's something about the bird sings, it's something about expressiveness, it's something about spirit, something about communication of some kind of maybe divine message or something, you know. Come on, you're a bird lover. What do you think about this golden bird?
Mm-hmm.
Even one and it's the thing that starts them off on this whole journey because it's been eating the golden apples, which we haven't even remarked on. But it takes something from the king, and that sets off this whole thing that changes everything. You know, that leads to the revelation and the development of all three of the king's sons. There's this idea that the king maybe it's this idea that the king is sort of complacent in the beginning of the story. Sort of like he's sitting pretty. He has his orchard with the golden apples. He has his three sons by his side. But no one's really been tested, you know. And eventually they have to really go out in the world and become lost before they can come back to renew the kingdom with like a political marriage and love and kind of religious renewal, bringing, you know, they get rid of like two sort of less useless kind of princes, and they bring back this wise fox kind of prince along with his sister, who becomes the queen. But anyway, you could say there's this idea that he's for the original king is forced to give up three golden apples, and that starts his whole family off on this long kind of journey, where eventually they're tested, and some of them fail onto death. And they become villains, utter, uh, you know, ignominious characters that try to betray their own brother. But it also brings renewal to the kingdom, many valuable things.
I think the bird might represent new beginnings because it even from the beginning it doesn't sing. Like it lets out a cry when it's getting uh I don't know, taken away, or I don't know what happened, but exactly, but it just says lets out a cry, which is the only sound it makes until the end when it starts singing. And when birds sing, it's kind of like a
Beginning of the
new
day.
day, new beginning.
Yeah.
Um, like all things are going okay, or as they should be. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's right.
and uh, it's just kind of showing how everything is kind of resolved at the end, and there's happiness and a new chapter
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
prince and the kingdom.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. There may have been something rotten in the state of Denmark, so to speak, at the very beginning of the story, and the bird kind of is some kind of figure that shows that, and it takes the apples and it starts this whole long, very dangerous and difficult kind of
Mhm.
series of events that eventually lead back to a new morning. And
Mhm.
yeah, you can map this whole story onto like the beginning of a day all the way through to the dark, dark night and the darkest part of night, and eventually back to the new day, and the bird sings
Mhm.
again. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, because in my version it says the bird would not sing at one point. So,
It's like
and 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 another part, it's still like it says it's shut in a cage when it's at the other castle. So it's not a happy bird. Um,
Right. Yeah. And
yeah. Until the until he until the end when he things are as they should be.
right. And then it, yeah, expresses that again. So like the new dawn has arrived.